Good evening, Chameleon Academy. Welcome to this open Q&A session where we're just going to talk about whatever you all want to talk about when it comes to chameleons. Anything to do with chameleons. And of course, I've got a couple of news items myself that I'd be very happy to talk to you about. And if any of you are watching the replay, know that this happens live every Tuesday evening at 5 p.m. Pacific. And you can join us live, ask your questions, hang out with the community. So let's see who's here. Oh my God, we've got a lot of the regulars here. Oh, lots of very familiar names. Wonderful. And Dylan won't be late this time. Excellent. So, all right, everybody. I'm just going to start right in. And if you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask. The good news is that if you know that I have chore night every Sunday evening, and I'm supposed to be doing fruit fly cultures, but I haven't been able to do it for the last 2 weeks because my fruit flies aren't blooming and I don't have anything to make them with. Well, I'm going to bring this up as Exhibit A. You can see all of those larvae there. As soon as they pupate, this is the form where they're actually the worms, larvae, and they're climbing up on the side here, and they're going to pupate, which means they're going to have a hard outer casing on them, and then the inside, well, I guess it liquefies and turns into a fly. Well, I don't know if it's going to happen before Sunday, but there's a chance that I'll actually be able to do fruit fly cultures on Sunday like I'm supposed to. So that's what I'm excited about. Actually, there's more than I'm excited about. I also want to announce, and I'll also talk about this a little bit later on the show. Madagascar 2026 is now getting ready and is up. We're starting to take. I am starting to take reservations for people who want to go. The official times are going to be, our arrival day is January 13th, and we will leave on January 28th. Now, that's a little bit deceptive because when we leave on January 28th, it's like 1:15 a.m. in the morning. So we really don't have January 28th in Madagascar. But that's when the flight goes out. So the cost is for double occupancy, it's $3,100, and the single occupancy is $3,600. And that includes the tour, the tips, in country, and food and lodging. So if you want any more information on that, email me at bill@chameleonacademy.com and I will send you details. So I'm excited to get that going. I've already got 2 people signed up. And so there is a limited number of people that we're going to take because I want to keep it a small group. So if you wanted to get to Madagascar and you wanted to be hang out with cool people watching chameleons, this is the time to do it. So, and see, Mikey Ben says, Chameleon Academy, that's not going to boom. That's an atomic explosion ready to go. Flies for everyone. Yeah, this is a good haul. And if you came to Fruit Fly, Mikey Ben, because I know you're on every fruit fly chore night. This is one of the ones we did on our first chore night. So it's getting ready. Taking reservations already. Isn't it a little early? No, it is not a little early. In fact, I'm a little bit late. James says, you guys need to get in on this. It's the most incredible experience you'll ever have. And I agree with that. So, and Geraldine says, are you going again, James? Oh, well, you know what? I haven't talked to James about that yet. But a week from Saturday, I'm going to have James back on. And he's going to be able to tell you guys about, I'm going to have, I'll see if anybody else from the trip that we just went to before is going to be able to join us. And you're going to be able to ask questions of the people who have been there. Not just me, because you know me. I'm just going to tell you how great it is. No, actually, I'm going to give you the real. I'm going to tell you we got 2 mountains, but I'll give you the real thing. And don't eat the fruit. I mean, not the kind you buy at the side of the road. Okay? We'll learn that. So, James says, I'm definitely going to try to make it. I just got the news. I'll have to see what the wife's. Yes, this is very new. And I'm kind of waiting to see what James is going to say too. So let's open this up to people that have any questions about chameleons, Madagascar, fruit flies, Bill and his exciting life being the chameleon wrangler at the Chameleon Academy, and that kind of stuff. And this time in Madagascar, I'm going to look better. I tried it is the rainy season in January, so we are going to be getting rain. Assume we're going to get rain. Last time this year when we went, there wasn't that much rain, and that was actually a bad thing. It was unseasonably dry, but when it was rainy, I brought out my new rain poncho, and I looked like Grimace. So definitely I need something a little bit more fashionable, and I have all year to figure out how to look in the rain. Yeah, I mean, even James looked better than me. What the heck? So Eliza Ann has oh boy, this again. Dean would like to hear more about Bill and his amazing life. That's right. Annabelle, hello, welcome. Very good to have you back. We just got the news for 2026, and so Annabelle went in 2025, and so we can ask Annabelle questions about what it's like. And so, all right. So let's see. Let me give you some updates as to what's going on. The baby panther chameleons are doing really well. They are continuing to grow. I think I've got everything stabilized. You have to figure out how high the lights need to be. Right now, I'm getting heat using the fluorescence, and so I'm adjusting, and I'm going to switch to the Arcadia LED Jungle Dawns, which is the LEDs, and so that should be in a little while. I'm going to be trying the new Exoterra UVB lamps, the T5s, and so expect here I'm going to be doing a full analysis on the new T5 fluorescent lights that Exoterra is coming out with. I'm pretty excited about that, especially since they created their own fixture, and they've created it after ZoomEd came first. They created the cheapest thing possible because nobody knew anything about UVB, so make it cheap. Arcadia came later, and we all knew about UVB, and so they made a very good fixture, but they still had to keep it within the good price range. They had a great fixture. Pro T5, such a good fixture. It's a fixture with the bulb included. Now it's been many years later, so Exoterra has been able to look at what Arcadia did, look at what ZoomEd did, what are the goods, what are the mistakes, and so I am hoping that they have put that all together and made a very good fixture. But I'm going to be sharing, going to be letting you know. Let's see. Does everyone keep their air circulating when the lights are off? You will keep, if you have the right setup with the cage, you're going to keep the air circulating. Things do settle down because you don't have the heat up top, so you don't have that active chimney effect going on. But I don't do any active air circulation at night. I don't have the need to, but I also have some my at least the big cages have the service door, the screen service door at the bottom, and so when I fog, the fog is going through the cage and out the bottom, and so there is that air exchange. So I do have a passive air exchange. So anyway. Says okay, but not the little computer fan on the. You can, and maybe you should, depending upon your situation. It's a good thing to have. I mean, I think if you got that the little computer fan at the top of the cage, make it go on every now and then for a minute at a time, every half hour, or something like that. It's good to replicate the breezes. So see, room fan overnight that oscillates. Marsha Ann leaves a ceiling fan at night on at night. Oh, it's a linotum. So put an M at the N, and then you'll find it, Mikey Ben. Linotum. It's a very cool. That's my favorite little mini Kaluma. Thoughts on reptile systems? I actually don't know reptile systems, so I am going to have to step out from answering that. Yes, there we go. Linotum. All right, Chameleon Collective says, hey, Cam fam, I just got a couple of Neymar feeder runs in, and they are the best. I'll make a video tomorrow. Love how they come with the hook for the enclosure. Yes, and I usually don't. I'm not going to be highlighting specific brands here, but Neymar's Feeders is a sponsor of this show, and so they get special. They get special consideration on this show. They are friends of the show. Question: when to go from feeding once a day to feeding every other day? Jackson's Chameleon. When they get to be their adult size, that's when we pull back on the feeding. Now, your next question is going to be, when do we know that they're the adult size? It's when they stop growing. When do we know they stop growing? You just make a guess. This isn't a critical thing that, oh, you better stop at this point. It's a gradual thing. When you start noticing that they're getting a little bit chunky instead of growing bigger all around, then you know, okay, they've stopped growing and now they're starting to gain weight. So it's not an exact thing, and it doesn't have to be an exact thing. Even if they're growing a little bit more rotund than you like, you just pull back on the food and you can get them back to a good weight. So it's not a disaster. You don't have to have it exactly at one particular point. So is it possible to have a cork panel background in a chameleon enclosure, or is it better to have no background? It doesn't matter. You can have a cork background if you want to. Just be careful about, it's going to absorb water and it's going to stay wet. It's going to provide humidity, but make sure it doesn't get moldy and things like that. But cork bark is fine. Yeah, cork bark is fine. Chris Segura. Hello, Bill. I'm back and I'm excited because my female veiled chameleon laid her first clutch of eggs. What recommendations do you have for beginners? Okay. First of all, I'm assuming that they are fertile eggs and that she was mated. Otherwise, they're just going to go bad and you go on with life. But if they are fertile, right now, start deciding what you want to do with those eggs. See, this is where you got to you've got to make a serious decision, because the proper way to raise chameleons is individually. Veiled chameleons are a real pain in the butt because they overproduce and they can have up to 100 eggs. And you can't realistically put up 100 cages. And so what I would suggest at this point is make a decision as to how many of those babies do you want to raise up and what do you want to do with them. If you want to raise them up to the point where you can sell them, then you can make a bunch of real small cages. You can get those cheap butterfly cages off of Amazon, like $10 each, and figure out how you can take care of them for 2 months, 3 months? Veiled chameleons grow really quickly. How many of them do you want to keep? So you can have adult size cages for, if you want to keep one, get an adult size cage for one. If you want to keep 2 or 3, get an adult size cages for 2 or 3 and put the hatchlings in that cage. They'll be fine in their adult size cage. So those are the ones you want to keep. The ones you want to sell, you can have them in small cages so they can grow up very quickly and then you can sell them. Now, at this point, you need to decide how are you going to sell them. Veiled chameleons are difficult to, I mean, people people occasionally on a regular basis they want captive bred, captive hatched veiled chameleons. The problem is you need to find and connect with those people. And so at this point, if you want to sell these, let me see if you've said sell anything more before I just go totally off. Okay. No, I haven't. Okay. Yeah, whether you want to keep these or just keep six. I mean, this is what I would do with a veiled chameleon, because selling them it's a real chore. And I tell you, veiled chameleons will eat you out of house and home before you get anywhere near close to selling them. And when you sell them, you will not have made any money. Now, if you're doing this for fun, no problem. It doesn't mean we have to make money at everything we do, just as long as that's your expectation and understanding. So what I would do is put together like these cages up that I've got back here. I mean, these are real nice cages that I have hatchlings in. I've got 6 of them. And so my ideal hatchling size group is 6. I would incubate 6 eggs, or you can incubate 10 eggs. So you make sure you have 6 hatch out. With the other eggs, you can, at this point, you can freeze them. You can, you just freeze them. They're not going to be feeling any pain. That would be what you can do at this point. Or you can hand them off if you have friends that are experienced with chameleons. Don't give this to family and friends that have no experience with chameleons, because then the baby's going to hatch and have a horrible life and die, because friends and family generally don't know what they're doing. So it really depends on what you want to do with the eggs. Now, as far as incubating them, you just put them into vermiculite and just have moist vermiculite and put them in your closet. Veiled chameleons are generally pretty easy to hatch out. So, all right. And if you want to add any more information, I made a lot of assumptions. You can go ahead and put it in there. I just ordered some Eco Earth for her enclosure to make her more comfortable, adding some extra hiding place. Yeah, and for her to recover, give her privacy, lots of food, and water. I give them the spa treatment for 1 to 2 weeks. And then we can go back to the regular way of doing things. Hello, Kanoa! Very good to see you. Hello, Brianna La Machia. Hello. And let's see. Okay, Geraldine knows something about the Exoterra Light. Tomascas, help them. I think they'll be good. I'm expecting them to be great. So I'm very excited about it. How much would you expect a 1-year-old Parsons to eat? During winter, not much. During summer, should be a chowing machine. And when you got a 1-year-old Parsons, Parsons chameleons, they take about 2 years to get to full size. I mean, that's an estimate. So go ahead and feed that guy as much as he will eat. So yeah. Quarterly reminder to smash the like button. Yes, everybody hit the like button. We need to let YouTube and Instagram know this is a great place to be. Let's see, invalid user ID says, I've got panther chameleon eggs that are roughly 6 months old. Roughly how often should I check on them? At least, well, okay, let's be honest. If I had 6-month-old panther chameleon eggs, I'd be checking them about 2 to 20 times a day, because that's just what I do. I cannot wait for babies to hatch. And you remember when I had those brevicorn eggs, I was showing everybody every day. So at 6 months, they're probably, I think at 7 months, I'd really start checking. But, it's a good idea. Check every day. That's for what's going on. When it starts getting the 7 months, I check twice a day. And after that, 3, 4, 5 times a day when you start to really get past 7 months. So that's what I would suggest. But, we don't know when they're going to hatch. They do what they want to do on their own time. The worst thing to happen is that they hatch early. And if you don't check on them, they die. So it's good to overcheck. That's what I got to say about that. So, any exciting news coming up about carpet chameleons? Other than people continue to hatch them, so they should be regularly available. Not like panther chameleons, but you should have a number of times during the year that they will be available, and that's great news. So just keep track of who's breeding them, and just stay on their social media, and you will know. Then nobody's going to keep it secret, but if you've decided that you want carpet chameleons, stay on their social media. And when they say they are available, do not hesitate. These things go within 10 minutes. So just make your decision now that you're going to get them. And once they're available, hit the PayPal button. Say, hey, how much are they? This is how much they are. Pay immediately, because people are going to pay and get ahead of you. You ask a lot of questions. That's how people lose it. No. Thought you mentioned you had an episode coming up. And oh yes, yes, Beta and Nova. Yes, I'm still thinking about that. I got a lot. You're gonna find out real soon. I've been writing a book that's about to be published, and so so many of the things that I wanted to do have just been. Oh, I'm so behind on everything else, but it's for a good cause. It's for a good cause. Hey, Ben, good to see you. Let's see. Any thoughts on Mellors in the States? I haven't heard any. There hasn't been much going on. There's been some breeding in Europe, so they're having some success, but we in the United States have not. So, one day. Do Umbanja panthers tend, if you want to be smaller than do Umbanja panthers tend to be smaller than the other locales? I don't know that to be true. I know that we have a very limited number of Umbanja in the United States, and the ones we have are generally many generations into being bred, and so they're not a good representation of what comes in the wild. Now, there are some wild type Umbanjas being bred, so you can get close to nature very soon. And in fact, these guys back here are wild type Umbanjas, supposedly. So we're going to find out. I know at one point someone was saying that they're smaller, but that may be just because we have a very limited bloodlines, and we just happen to have small genes in our limited bloodline. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. Those are possibilities. Bill, have you ever had a chameleon that you've cut food back on and have them successfully lose weight? Did you notice any physical difference? Any pics documenting it anywhere? Yes, I have. And I have had chameleons lose weight as I pull back. Thing is, it just happens over a long period of time. So you got to be really patient about it. I don't have any documentation on it because I've actually never thought about documenting it. But you know what? That would be a good thing to document. Everything's good to document. I should document that. So Intermission says, thanks, Bill, for including me on the enclosure review. Yeah, everybody, I'm going to be doing enclosure reviews once a month because it seemed to be people really liked it. So if you want to have your enclosure reviewed, send it to bill@chameleonacademy.com and put it up. We'll see. As long as it's going to be useful for the group. No. Has anybody had experience with Dieffenbachia tiger leopard lily in their cage? I don't know. I know everybody thinks it's toxic, but I don't know what a veiled chameleon would think about it. I haven't specifically done it. I wouldn't have a problem doing it personally, but as I haven't done it, I don't know. Has anybody used a Dieffenbachia? And have you had any problems? Go ahead, put it in the comments, and we can look at the data points. Bob building a real big cage. Going to try adding a waterfall into. Bob, you're going to be joining the generations of people who have tried a waterfall. And best of luck to you, because nobody's been able to do it in a way that makes it worth it. But that doesn't mean that somebody won't. So best of luck to you. Hello, Amy. Welcome. Welcome. Is there anything else other than a microscope needed for the hunting chameleon parasites course? Yes. Well, you just need everything that goes with the microscope, including the cover slips and the glass plates, the saline solution, the Ficasol, and what you don't need that to sign up for the course. You sign up for the course, and the course is going to lead you through everything and give you a shopping list. So you're not supposed to have everything before you take the course. Sign up for the course, and it's going to lead you step by step in getting everything and how to use every single thing. So the course is really meant for people who have absolutely no background and are starting from ground zero. So don't think you have to prepare anything to take that course, and it'll help you get the right stuff. So let's see. Yep. You don't know it. You need a microscope. Nate says, I don't have a microscope yet, and I took the course. So there you go. Oh, yeah. All right. This is okay. Let me read this. Figure this out. What is your experience in comparison on a regular ambulobe hatchling egg compared to an ambulobe nosy bay hatchling egg? Fred said they are much smaller and take longer to grow. I don't have a data point on that because I've never crossed an ambulobe and nosy bay. I'd be very careful about that. That experience is a data point. I'd be very careful making a conclusion based on one data point. This is a trap that we get into on social media. We have one data point and we take a conclusion out of it, and we put that conclusion online, and people just start repeating that conclusion over and over because, hey, it's news, it's fun. And it's just not, this is how myths start. And something like this, very few people are going to try this. And so if that is put out there, it may never be refuted. It may be. I mean, you gotta look into, first of all, what ambulobe are we talking about? If we're using the captive bred generations, we've got like 10 plus generations of ambulobe that are available to us. And the ones that are these 10 generations, they come out bigger. We've selectively bred them in some manner or form. I don't think we've done it. We haven't done it on purpose. It's just kind of happened that if you get an ambulobe from these captive bloodlines, you get large babies. And so if you're comparing, and if he's then bringing in a nosy bay from the wild caught, then you may be mixing. That conclusion may be very difficult to pin down. And I don't know any of the details. All I know is the two sentences you put there. I'm just saying that there's so many different variables that are involved here that we got to be careful not to make a conclusion. When we have a data point like this, what we do is we say, okay, now let's change the variables and see if we can get a pattern. And it takes years to do that. So I don't have any insight into different hatchlings. Now, some of our panther chameleon breeders that do this multiple times a year with multiple bloodlines and multiple locales, they may have more insight on this, but I am not privy to that. So, but I will follow this with interest. Yes, Marshan says, as far as a microscope, you'll want one after taking the class, and you definitely will. It's a lot of fun. Definitely a lot of fun. Once you learn how to use a microscope, you want to look at everything. Yeah. Hey, Donnie, good to see you. Yes, we need to say congratulations to Nick Unz from Unz Arium, who has baby Peteri. Very excited about that. Very excited about that. Actually, Alamo 90, it looks like I'm leaning towards doing it as a physical book. I'm veering away from doing it as an ebook. I think the feedback that I've gotten from the people that I've talked to has been overwhelming, that they'd rather have it as a print book. And so I believe that is where I'm going. Now I'm looking into it, and it's looking like that's what I'll do. That just means it's going to take a little bit longer for it to actually come out, because I need to do some like print checks and stuff like that. But it'll be a matter of weeks, not months. So we'll see. And I will definitely give information here when I have that. Oh yeah. Anybody looking for carpets? Unz Arium may know where you can find them. So let's see. Okay. Print book is awesome. Thank you, Ben. Okay. Everybody is in agreement that the print is awesome. So I think I'm just going to have to listen to the masses. And actually, I am so glad. I come from, I love print books, and I was sad that I was going to be doing an ebook. And so I really appreciate the way this is going. So, wild type umbanjas are so high. Oh, wild type umbanjas are so cool. I love them. Yeah, it was getting really hard to find them. Ben says, I'm in the print industry. Excellent. Very special person showed up. So, okay. M. Davis says, I'm late. What I miss? And Mike is the one who is making those 3D printed stuff that I've been raffling off on Saturdays. Thank you, Mike. So, all right. So now that we're kind of in the halfway through, time for the Slinky halftime show. I don't know what he means by that. You mean squishy? I don't know where Squishy is. Squishy is the chameleon that always makes an appearance down in that cage down there. But Squishy is not out right now. I don't know what he's up to. All right, but it is the halftime show, and said, hello, Safari Steph. Glad to have you here. And since Safari Steph is here, we are going to make the announcement that for those who have joined and haven't been there for the beginning, yes, Madagascar 2026 is now official. We have all the information. We are going to be going January 13th and returning on the 28th, January 2026. And so if you are interested in going to Madagascar, email me, bill@chameleonacademy.com. I'll send you the information. The cost is $3,100 for double occupancy and $3,600 for single occupancy. That doesn't include airfare, but it does include the tour, food, lodging, and tips. That's something that we've added in because it was just so nice last time to have tips paid for. So let's see. Caracasta says, Safari Steph says, oh man, I want to go. Oh, I am so glad that I get to do this every year. It's so freaking cool. Caracasta says, greetings from Mexico. Do you have Brevicorn? I do have one Brevicorn. I have sent my female Brevicorns to a friend who has a male, and he is working on doing an F2 generation. And so hopefully next year we are able to say that, yes, we have a bunch of Brevicorn. So, were we talking about a Parsons care sheet? You guys, oh my goodness, what the heck? Let's see. Bob is saying, I'll give it my best shot, Bill. Hope to make it as good as possible. Bob's working on trying to make it a fountain work in a chameleon cage. Well, we're all rooting for you because we've all tried it and we've all would love to do it. So if you can do it in a way that is not more work than it's worth, we want to hear about it. Kanoa says, do you feed your fogger from top to bottom or just from the bottom? Feed your fogger. Do you mean how do I put it into the cage? The way I like to do my fogger is I bring it from the top, and I like to have a small vent at the bottom, and I want the vent small enough that the fog has a chance to build up, but it still has some going out. And this is what I've been doing lately. So the original fogging strategy was you fog in and you let it build up, and then the chameleon sits in the fog. And that works. It has worked. The thing is, we battle stagnant air and we battle stagnant fog. When we stop the air circulation, we get stagnant, and stagnant's not good. And since I've been going to Madagascar, I've been trying to figure out how do I have the humidity high without trapping it. And so what I like to do, what I'm trying now, and I'll say this is my experimentation. I'm not saying this is I think it's going to work, but I'm still experimenting with it. I want to put more fog in than comes out the bottom vents. And what I am hoping to do is get fog that will build up, but will constantly recirculate. So that's my intention. And that's what I like to do as far as fogging. So, no, we're still waiting on the Parsons care sheet. Bill's making us wait. Eliza Anna is so upset. I told you, April. I've got till April to do it. April is Parsons month. Oh, man, the mob is getting restless. So I better get that care sheet out soon. Everybody loves Parsons for good reasons. So Mikey says, anyone taking the course and don't have a microscope are welcome to still post questions and help info to make the right choice for you. Also consider a used microscope. Yes, if you are interested in getting a microscope, sign up for the class, because when you sign up for the class, we're talking about the class Hunting Chameleon Microscopic Parasites that's offered through the Chameleon Academy. When you sign up for the class, it's a community-driven course. It's not just a digital course where you're alone. You can, on every single lesson, you can post a question and I'm there and I will answer those questions. Or there's a forum that is attached to the class, and in that forum are your fellow students, your alumni, and me. And we're posting their case studies and interesting things that are going on in the world. And sometimes there's live lectures. And so it's a very dynamic situation. So you can join. And when you can start posting in that forum when you join and say, hey, I've been looking for microscopes. Can you help me? Go through there's a segment telling you about what you need to get with a microscope and what to look for, but we can help you. And looking at the classifieds, it's a great way to get a cheap microscope. And you can take an ad and put it in the forum and say, hey, does this look good? And we can tell you. So yeah, you don't have to know anything to join the class. Join the class, and then you will learn everything you need to know. So, let's see. Splash Official is saying, you're one of the best chameleon-based content creators. Thank you. You've really taught me so much. I now have 4 panthers and a veiled and a bunch of eggs. Chameleons are seriously the most fans. Yes, Splash Official. I agree with your assessment of the situation. Chameleons are freaking awesome. Hey, Richard. Good to see you here. And everybody, thank you very much for answering what you do in the comments. This is very cool that not only do you get my opinion when you come on here, you also hear from everybody else in the community. And just so everybody knows, this is going live on both YouTube and Instagram. So that's why some people may not see the comments that others see. But that's the way we do it. Paper book all the way. Printed book. All right. We're going to be doing it. That's the way it's going. Christopher. Oh, Alamo says hardcover snob all day. Excellent, because I want to do hardcover. I'm not going to do a softcover. It's worth it. It's over 100 pages. That's worth a hardcover. Christopher, hey, Bill, I got a problem. Year-old female Jackson's stopped using her back leg. She has a good grip with her feet, but she won't move them. Her tail is functioning, going to bring her into the vet. All right, that's a very interesting situation. And I mean, I'm only guessing that it could be neurological. If the female is a year old, that's a little too young for getting like gout and arthritis type stuff. So at 1 year old, that the first thing that comes to me is a neurological issue. And so, yeah, the vet is the best one to take him to, because he's got to look and say, okay, what the heck's going on here? That's not a common thing. So you're doing the exact right thing. Yeah. All right. Yeah, saying everything. Yeah, and this doesn't sound like a husbandry. This not using the back leg doesn't sound like a husbandry thing. It sounds like, I mean, it could have been an injury or a neurological nerves, something. Because, I mean, chameleon bodies are just as complicated as human bodies, and things go wrong. Individual chameleons will have things go wrong that other chameleons don't, just like us humans. And so, yeah, I'm really sorry to hear that, but the vet is the best way to go. Hey, thank you, Amy. Yeah. And actually it's almost done. It's almost done. So it's not like everybody says, oh, I'm going to write a book. Yeah, well, I don't like to say what I'm going to do. I like to say what I've done, because, boy, great ideas, I say, ideas are a dime a dozen. You can, all it takes is a 6-pack and a campfire, and you can have 100 ideas. So, yeah, I'm really careful about saying what I want to do. Okay. Hey, Stephanie, good to see you. Ty Trapero, hello. Welcome. And will all the images be glossy in the book? I'm deciding that. They may be glossy. Honestly, I'm learning all the terms, and I'm learning what the choices are. So I am building up my experience. Yeah. So I just wanted to put in the chat that, do you have a Cricut connection? I'm able to have 500 plus Crickets shipped to my door for $20. Anyone needs info, let me know. Oh, okay. You have a Cricut connection. Oh, okay. All right. No, Stephanie is here. Stephanie Payne is here. No, we don't see Squishy. I don't know what's up with Squishy. But it's got a nice, dense schefflera, and a lot of leaves are right by the feeding cup. So he just hangs out in the leaves by the feeding cup. Those Madagascar trips are still ongoing. When I graduate, I'm going to gift myself to that to celebrate. That's a great way to celebrate. Great way to celebrate. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Now I knew it. Okay, I don't have a Linotum care guide. I was talking with Michael Nash about putting one of those together. The best I can offer is look for interviews with Michael Nash on the YouTube video channel, because I have some interviews with Michael Nash where we talk about the Kaluma care. So that will have to suffice until I can actually get the care guide together. Bill, before with a Nosy Bay question, I was not implying I was going to mix the two. I was just curious if Nosy Bay hatchlings in babies grow slower and eggs are smaller. Once again, I don't know. And the thing is that I don't know who would have that kind of comparison, because so many times we just have one or two data points, and those, like I was saying, those are dangerous to make conclusions off of. So I don't know. I have been surprised that nobody as of yet can say that they notice a difference in husbandry preferences between the locales. You would think, with the widespread range of Pardalis, and you know that they are separated because they keep their colors in those ranges. They go from sea level up to 1,000 meters. Why is there not preferences in husbandry? So that's really what I am wondering. So, hey, waiting for a baby brev. Hello, Suzanne. Welcome, barn chores. All right, sounds interesting. Sounds fun. All right. Let's all right, going through the chat here, trying to catch up. So, Camille having no rest for the week. Oh yeah, but I've been having so much fun with the stuff I've been doing with my time. All right. That's right. Mike is saying 100% the course is worth it with or without a microscope. Thank you, Mike. I'm glad. By the way, that course is it was so much fun to put together. I learned so much putting that together, and especially take a look. Those of you who are in the course, take a look at make sure you do the coccidia profile. I had fun making that video. So I actually made some primitive animations to show the coccidia oocysts in the intestinal lumen. Oh. All right, let me see. I'm really catching up on the chat here. So I've been behind. This is what happens when I just start talking and talking and talking. I end up getting very behind, and the whole chat keeps going on and on. We've got a great community. Instagram, just let you know, a lot of the conversation is going on YouTube. So if you have a chance, go to YouTube. I keep doing my Instagram because I love my Instagram audience, but it's just the YouTube has started to grow and becomes a lot more. There's a lot more people doing stuff there. So, Fear Not Reptile says, do you know of anywhere that has captive bred Kaluma, Brevicorn, or Malthae? Next year, we may have some Brevicorn. I don't know. I know of someone who's got a bunch of Malthae, but I don't know about the breeding situation. But Kaluma, Brevicorn, I sent my females to Steve. He's got a male, and so that may be some for next year. But we definitely need a lot more people working with Brevicorn. Such a good species, such a real cool species. So yeah. All right. That's right. Steve Hefner says, hopefully by 2026. Yes. All right. So we are coming to the end of this live stream. We've got 8 more minutes. If you have any last questions, throw it down in the comments, and we will take those. Remember, everybody, if you're interested in Madagascar, email me at bill@chameleonacademy.com. And this is going to be for January 2026. And I would, if you love chameleons, It's an incredible experience. And Madagascar is such an easy way to go. I know it's very intimidating. If this is the first time you've done it, I had people. I mean, this was the first time James has been international. I think he been to the Bahamas or something, but this is the first real international trip, and he loved it. He loved it. It's an easy way to have an incredible once in a lifetime experience. So email me. Let's see. How's your flappy flap boy doing, Bill? He's doing great. He's doing great. He's taking super worms now. He's a dude. Let's see. Since raising brevicorn, is there anything you or Steve would add or change on care profile? I'm going to take a look at that. Probably not. In raising this guy up, there were no surprises. I just did the basic chameleon husbandry and he did great. There was nothing different than say a panther chameleon. So he did great. James says he went to Mexico and Jamaica a long time ago. Nothing like going to Madagascar. So freaking amazing. P.S. I don't like Paris. James had a bad experience in Paris. And if you want to go, we are going to have a serious discussion about airline tickets and how to do this. So, oh, yeah. What about shifts in the incubation? Yeah, it was just one diapause. I looked at that. I actually modeled off of that care guide. So, and the diapause worked really great. Any information company that ship chameleon eggs or chameleons overseas, please? I don't know of any. I don't get along very well with the people who ship out chameleon eggs for sale because of the way they're doing it. I don't have an actual. I personally don't have a problem with people raising a chameleon egg if they're going to do the research in how to do it. But so many people are sold these eggs saying that it's the easiest way to do it and it's really easy, and it's not. It's not. And so I haven't gotten along well with the people who are actually doing the egg selling. And as far as chameleons overseas, you would have to, if you want to export chameleons, then you'd have to do a whole lot of them to make it worthwhile. So that is challenging because there's so much paperwork that goes along with it. It's so expensive. So, let's see. Oh, nothing like getting thrown in an elevator and getting a shakedown. Yeah, everybody, stay away from elevators. Stay away from police in the elevators. It's an interesting experience. Yes, we'll explain that. All right. Oh, yeah. We'll say one more thing from James. I'm weird. All of my chameleons go out when the weather is right. I agree with that. They become completely different animals. This is correct. Thai Trepanos in South America. Yeah, that's going to be a challenge. But if you can get a bunch of people who will and get a bulk shipment, like, I mean, I don't know how much would make it worth somebody's effort. There's just so much paperwork that you have to go through. You have to prove to the government that these animals that you have were born in captivity, and so there's so much that has to go through it. So you'd have to either bring in, I don't know, 50, maybe 50. We've done it for like 20. I think that's the lowest amount that I've seen done. But Thai Camouflage Creations, I believe, has done it before. And so you can find them at Chameleons Only. I don't know if they're still doing it. So that's the best I can offer on that one. So Are there any major differences you'd make when building an enclosure for shrub brush dwellers, Campani lateralis, compared to typical forest edge? No, there isn't. The basic forest edge cage is appropriate for just about every single chameleon that you can think of. Namaquensis, okay, that's an exception. But if you've got Namaquensis, you better be have a whole lot more experience in research. Other than that, every single chameleon that you're likely to get a hold of will do well in the forest edge setup. I could take that 2 by 2 by 4 foot tall cage, the typical forest edge that I put, and I put just about every chameleon in it. Now, there are some chameleons like a Parsons that would like it a little bit bigger, but you just do the same thing bigger. The thing with the forest edge, and the reason why it's so powerful as a cage concept, is that it's got that open area where you've got the UVB and the heat, and then you've got that closed area, and you have the microclimates and the gradients. So I'm not saying that every chameleon is going to act the same in that cage. Cristatus, Quadricornis, and O'Shaughnessyi, they will spend more time in the leaves than a panther chameleon or a veiled chameleon or a Jackson's chameleon. But that forest edge cage has everything, so the chameleons can decide where to be. That's why it's so powerful. And if I had a chameleon just come in and I had no idea what it was, I'd put it in a forest edge cage and it would tell me what it wants. I would look at its behavior. Okay, is it spending time down low where it's cooler? Maybe it's a deep forest chameleon. Is it way up top and under the basking? Okay, maybe it's a low elevation canopy species. But the same forest edge cage will give everything that all of these chameleons need. So that's what I would do. So when is the release date? I am working on that. I have the first draft that's going through the edit process, and I need to add a handful of more pages and do a little bit more formatting. So I'm going to say give me 4 weeks. I think 4 weeks is enough for me to do what I need to do. But I will definitely let you know as soon as I know, because literally as of today, I went from my decision from ebook to published book was made today. So I'm doing a crash course on how to make that happen. Yeah, it's a little bit of a delay, but I am very glad. I'm very happy with this delay. And so I like this output better. So Nate says, my Cristatus is in forest edge enclosure. Can confirm Bill is 100% correct. Yes. Both a Cristatus and a panther chameleon. And if you know the difference between the two, panther chameleon is out in the open. Hey, give me that sun. Cristatus is hiding. They will do okay in the same cage. They just won't have the same behaviors in the same cage. And that's what makes a cage powerful, is when it has all of the choices for the chameleon and the chameleon gets to choose. Let's see. My panther hatched 3 weeks ago. I remember asking you some questions about the egg about a month ago. So far, we are all good. I am glad to hear that. Oscaro Sosa 88. That is great news. Great news. I am glad to hear that. Yeah, the eggs hatching. And by the way, this book that I'm about to release, it's all about care of chameleon hatchlings. I didn't start with the book of how to take care of your chameleon, which is what we talk about all day. It's the care of the chameleon hatchlings, which is a big hole in our knowledge. And so that's what I'll be releasing a book on. So let's see. Bless you, Bill, going through all that so we have physical papers to hold when caring. Yes. I'm excited to do it. I am so glad that everybody came back with that feedback. It just makes me feel so happy, because that means I can do it and feel good about it. So, And you know, I was looking at the cost, going, "Oh my goodness, this is expensive." But hey, it's like it's great information. It's not, and it's going to be a great reference book. So it's worth it. It's worth it to do it right. And so we're going to do it right. I'm very excited about that. So Mark Ferrari says, enjoying my first chameleon, a veiled. They're kind of half monkey the way they carefully crawl. Yes, they are. They're monkey dragons. Oh, James says, good job, everybody. We kept him talking past his cutoff time. What? Ha! What the heck? I have been schnookered. Oh, everybody. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. The next thing, let's see. Tomorrow night, I'll be talking with Sean McNeely at the Reptile Show Reporter, because we just kind of hang out and do that. And I'm going to try to have a video out Friday morning, but my goodness, I'm really behind. But we are going to be, next time I'll be here, we're going to be talking about on Saturday, the Saturday show, we're going to be talking about the 5 lesser known chameleon species that you really should know. And these are species that have a following. It's like a small following that's going, hey, these are so great. Why in the world aren't more people working with these species? And so I'm going to be talking about 5 of them. And I had to pick 5. I could pick 10. I know I could, but I picked the 5 ones that I think have the most interest, grassroots interest. And so if you're looking for something off the beaten path, you know, I'm talking about beaten path. I mean, Panthers, Veileds, Jacksons, Carpet Chameleons, and Parsons Chameleons. Very popular. Everybody knows those. If you want to go off the beaten path, these are ones that are, number one, available. You have other people working with them, and they're actually pretty easy. So that's what we'll be talking about on Saturday. And I knew it. Gosh, I knew it. I'm sorry, Nate. Bomi is not on that list. But if I were to have a 6 and a 7, it would be Bomi and Brackesia. But it's not. I'm sorry. And you know what? There's no way for me to make that list without getting people with pitchforks and torches at my doorstep. There's some very, very passionate people out there who love their chameleon species. James wants to go to bed and can't until Bill is done. I'm working my way out the door. Oh, okay, everybody. It has been wonderful having you here. I'm going to go off and continue doing what I am doing, and hope that my fruit flies will bloom by Sunday, so I can actually make fruit fly cultures on Sunday. So have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time. See, Nate says, no pitchforks, just love. Thank you very much, Nate. Thank you very much. So, all right.